Okay, guys, I'm going to use a big trade from the chat room today to illustrate kind of how setups unfold. And Harley-Davidson HOG was the first stock I noticed this morning. Now, I have an overnight list of stocks that I start the day with, and HOG wasn't even on it, okay? But I spend my first 5-10 minutes every morning looking for possible other stocks because I don't want to trade my overnight list in the first 5 or 10 minutes anyway. So rather than just sit there with a dumb look on my face, I go ahead and scan for unusual volume and try to find stocks that, hey, this might make a good trade later. And HOG met those parameters. You had nice volume here. Let me bring the small version of the daily over. I saw this volume right off the bat, so it was meeting my unusual volume parameters. But look at that big candle. In 5 minutes, this thing's up over $50. It closed at around 48.80. All right, but I saw in the first 5 minutes that you had a really strong daily. It had flagged and then was gapping on big volume and running. Okay, so that became pretty interesting to me. So I put this on first and foremost on everybody's radar. Now here's what happened as it unfolds. Typically, you start thinking about, hey, this might bounce here, just by simply using the moving averages as your gauge for places where you might catch a turn. I really wouldn't have been too interested in taking it here. This is the 8-period moving average. I don't, and this might sound silly or superstitious, I don't like trading around whole numbers, especially a whole number like 50. That doesn't mean I wouldn't have taken it if I saw a setup, but I just really thought this had more to come in. So this did do a bounce there. Anyone could have taken it off the 8-period moving average, had a nice trade. I didn't do anything with it. I still felt like this move, I guess, was just too big, and that wasn't enough to digest that big move. And you can see what happened. It ends up coming down. Now I've become much more interested around the 20-period moving average. So once it hits this, I'm pretty interested. Now the next candle, you're putting in kind of a little bottoming tail here, and it became real interesting to me. But one of the tactics I kind of use, I'm starting to use, is when the 5-minute candles get below all the moving averages that I look for, I'm not thinking this is going to roll over. It was too strong and the daily looked too good. I'll generally switch to a different time frame. And I like to glance at it on 15s. I've said this in my videos before, that whenever I populate my big 5-minute chart, I have others on the same screen that automatically populate the same symbol with 5s, 2s, 15s, and 60s, and the daily. So I get a huge view of all the different time frames all at once. It's a pretty handy way to have your at least one monitor set up. I trade with 3 monitors. And when it looked like this, like I said, I switched to 15s, and it becomes real interesting around the 15.8, the 8-period moving average, 15-minute candles. And for the entry, as I have started doing lately, I use 10-minute candles. That's just a preference. 5s are too wishy-washy. Is that a proper trading term? 5s are too, you get whipped out of them. And 10s clean it up a lot. So I've been really using 10s a lot lately. You had a pretty nice little hammer candle right here. And I went ahead and called this long if it breaks this candle's high, 49.67, and there's your trigger. And the worst case stop goes below this candle's low, 49.44. And watch this unfold. Next thing you know, you're up here at the high of the day and breaking through the high of the day. And look how this closes. It closes strong. So we got a $1.21 move in our favor on 23 cents risk. But the beauty of this was, one, we had the patience to wait for that buy zone. But two, we took the entry here, and it just never made you worry. You didn't even have a red 10-minute candle there, right? So there was never, not at any moment were we underwater. Those are the easy ones. And, when they start to come back down, maybe touch the moving average or on a topping tail like this, good place to take profits. I took some right before it got through the high of the day because I said, hey, the high of day test, I'm going to get out some there. And little things like that. But love the trades that never even make you, you're not even negative for a second. Those are great. And that's it. There wasn't a lot going on today. HOG made my day. I had a bunch of other small trades, but trading defensive, I hate to speak and say and be wrong, but I don't think I had any losses today. I just killed everything quickly that didn't work and scalped some. I'm a big fan of scalping some when you get a little pop and tightening up the stop so you have what I call free shares, right? If you put some money in your pocket, keep the rest, and if it comes back to where you're back to even, just get back out. Defense first, guys. All right, I've babbled long enough. Talk to you later.